The NFL is now behind us. So let's do awesome, awful, awkward. Dominique, tell me something you saw that was awesome.
Oh, I love all interceptions, especially when the end result is a big man running with the ball. Dexter Lawrence.
Go, Dex, go.
You can make it. Oh. Get that man a touchdown.
He even fell in slow motion.
It's a great. Damian Woody was devastated yesterday doing this highlight that he didn't make it for the sexy Dexy with the thick six. With the spectacular player. All right, that was awesome. Graz, what did you see this weekend that was awful?
Someone else who almost scored a touchdown. Adonai Mitchell of the Colts. Like, he's in home free, but then he drops the ball on the 1 yard line and goes to the end zone for a touchback. This is the second year in a row the Colts did this. Jonathan Taylor did it last year against the Broncos. I think Shane Steichen should get that play out of the playbook. It's not a good one where you're about to score and you drop the ball on the 1 yard line.
Rex said it's like hitting a home run and failing to touch home plate.
It was such an incredible play, too. Like, the athleticism is just such an awesome
right
play.
There in the game with the ramp.
Finally, J-Mac, what was awkward?
This right here, I mean, Liam Cohen was all right, Solid. You wanted to talk that trash during the course of the week. Don't come over and shake my hand. But you gotta admire the strategy. He started talking once there were people in between him and Robert Saleh.
Offensive lineman.
Know your matchup. Me and Robert Saleh, not a good matchup. I'm going to go ahead and back on out of this one.
Yeah, we don't have to play it for you. You may have heard it. We have to bleep all of it anyway. The bottom line of it is they were just
for more.
They were just cursing at each other. Yeah, that's probably not a fight Liam Cohen wants a whole lot of. Okay, so that was awesome, that was awful, and that was awkward. Sort of falling more into the awful range would have been the Ravens and the season that they are having. Lamar Jackson is hurt. The team is 1-3. Yesterday, John Harbaugh said the hamstring injury that Lamar suffered will prevent him, or did prevent him, from returning to the game against the Chiefs this weekend. And so the question becomes, Dan Graziano, when does he come back? They have back-to-back home games followed by a bye.
Yeah, look, they need more information. My understanding as of yesterday was they weren't sure how much time, if any, he was going to miss. Obviously, it's a possibility he has to miss this week, but I think they want to see how the injury responds to treatment and any activity they give him here over the next couple of days. We should know more today, tomorrow.
Sal, you were making the point that the Bengals imploding, whatever, forgetting how they do, they're no longer a serious consideration. The Steelers, who I think many of us still question, the Ravens still have a chance to play themselves back into this, but the quarterback injury sort of throws a monkey wrench into the whole thing.
It does, but, they have the pieces, I think, within the coaching staff and personnel. If they can get healthy defensively, that's the big if. I think they're in a position where they can be one of the 7 in the AFC. I don't think their season by any stretch of the imagination is over. They do have a tough stretch here. They got to figure it out. I talked to the Ravens right before we came on the air. Dan's right. Getting some treatment today. They're going to do more tests on the hamstring to see where Lamar Jackson is, and then probably rest him at least for a day or two before they figure out where he's at.
So it's an interesting little note, and Hembo just put it up there. The Ravens, despite being 1-3, remain odds-on favorites to win the AFC North, which is remarkable considering the Steelers are 3-1. Here's the real question. You're a former Raven. You live right in that area. What has happened to their defense?
Yeah, I think the easy answer is to point to all the injuries, but it's not just that. They are undisciplined, and they also can't win these one-on-ones. They're trying to run these blitzes to create matchups that can be advantageous, but they won't win them. And that's a problem when you're playing against these teams. If you can't get rushed with 4 because Van Noy is out, Matabike is out, then you're going to have to blitz and try to create matchups where you can win. And you blitz, you don't win the matchups, you're putting a lot more pressure on the secondary. And then the disguises are undisciplined and out of position. Just feels like there's a lot wrong with this defense right now.
And to your point, you take for granted how special it is when you have a group that understands it and everyone's on the same page. Before Mike McDonald left, this was a defense that was absolutely buzzing. Zach Orr, the defensive coordinator, kind of got it going a little bit last year. When I watched him at the end of that Buffalo Bills game, it just looked like a team that was trying not to lose the game. You don't see that same Raven aggression that we've seen over years where they're going out there and trying to actually dominate their opponents. That's the part, to me, defensively, that you just don't see.
It is important, as you note, that they got the defense together in the second half last year with Zach Orr in his first year as coordinator. So you can give them credit for the possibility they'll do that again. They are down potentially seven starting players on that defense. And some of those guys, Matabike, not coming back. So they have to make some adjustments. You go back 2 years when they were the 1 seed, they had the best defense, a dominant defense that would just go up against really good offenses and smother them. They don't have that anymore. And if Lamar Jackson has to miss time, then it gets out of control.
They have to stop taking too many chances defensively, and they have to start giving Derrick Henry 22, 25, 26 carries a game. take the pressure off defense, play more alignment assignment football like they did under Mike Macdonald defensively, don't take as many chances, and be more aggressive with the running game and keep opposing quarterbacks off the field.
The Derrick Henry idea sounds good, but they actually haven't been running the ball particularly well. Like, Derrick Henry's have these explosive plays, but maybe you keep at it and they'll keep creating those explosive plays. But if Lamar's not there, that changes how much you want to run.
It does also make you wonder, like they don't base any of the decisions they make on what Las Vegas says. But the reality is they have a sense in their own minds of what number it's going to take to win the division, right?
Yeah.
So they're not going to be the 1 seed, no matter what happens at this point, right? They remain favored to win this. They seem very unlikely to get that. So right now it's win the division, get in the dance, get healthy, and take your chances. Do you think they feel, and Lamar feels pressure to get back out there? Like, you start losing more games here, it gets away from you. Yeah. You don't want to play on a hamstring, but at the same time, you lose 2 more games before you're by. 1-5, you may really be buried.
They're going to have to, obviously they're going to have to lean on their doctors to clear them, right? You see what's going on in Washington. They would have loved to have a gimpy Jayden Daniels out there on Sunday, but no way. So you have to protect Lamar from himself if that's the case. I went to their training camp, and I talked to John Harbaugh, and fast start was a big thing. Like, they wanted to get out to a hot, that was because he felt like they started 0-2 last year and they end up on the road in Buffalo in the playoffs.
Right.
That cost them. So obviously that's off the table. So now if you're the Ravens, can you flip the script? Can you be the team that's at its healthiest, playing its best come January, as opposed to the team that has the big regular season and then fizzles out in January? But they have to win these next couple games before they're bye, or else
first guess
the math gets hard.
By the time we got to the playoffs last year, we all thought Ravens are a serious contender.
Yes.
It went sideways on them in Buffalo. First guess it. Are they going to get back to that this year?
I don't see it from where we sit right now. The amount of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, your starting quarterback, who is such a threat when it comes to Derrick Henry in the run game, he's such a threat involved in that as well. With a hamstring injury and with them playing the Texans and then playing the Rams right now, if Lamar's not able to go, now you're asking Cooper Rush to lead this offense that is centered around the abilities of a Lamar Jackson. I don't see them getting back to that level right now.
Yeah, getting to that level? No. Will they make the playoffs? I think they'll make the playoffs. And then you hope that Lamar can escalate to the level that he's shown us and they can make a run.
We'll continue this. I'm up against the clock, but Sal made a good point, and I'm reading. We'll make it again. There are sneaky good teams all around the AFC. Like, just getting in as a wild card from that division may not be as easy as it used to seem. We'll get to that. But first, we got to put Sal to work, and the area is quite obviously over as far as anything they were hoping to accomplish realistically. Now the question is, how do they keep it together?
Well, the bottom line is it's 2 things, right? It's about the Bengals. It's also about the division within the division. What's the fallout, right? For the Bengals, when you lose your starting quarterback, things shouldn't completely fall apart. You should have a plan, right? You're in week 2 now of this, and you shouldn't get waxed on Monday Night Football. I mean, the Broncos are good. We understand that their defense gets after the quarterback. We got all that. We get it. But you shouldn't be completely falling apart. But the other thing is, the beneficiaries here, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
Baltimore Ravens.
Yes.
It gives the Steelers the driver's seat in the division. It gives the Baltimore Ravens hope that they can figure out a way to get back into the playoff picture.
To me, I look at all of it, and as we're watching Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, that's just what we live in right now. The quarterback's not out there. We're going to show the wide receivers who are doing nothing in the game as much as possible. And the hard part about this, when I played in the league, people would always ask you all the time, who's the best wide receiver you had to cover? It didn't matter because it depended upon